Welcome to Prem and Proper here at SDH, and we're just going to get right to it. It is a very packed show, a bunch of different reasons why, and we're just going to have to charge forward because we've had our first sacking of the season. Scott Parker out at Bournemouth, and here's how it broke, courtesy of our friends at Sky Sports News.
We have got some big breaking news for you, and the first sacking of the season in the Premier League. Bournemouth have sacked their manager, Scott Parker, after just 4 matches so far. They've won 1 and lost 3 of them. The most recent of those was a record-equalling 9-0 defeat to Liverpool at Anfield on Saturday. And Bournemouth have acted very quickly in the aftermath of that. And Parker, the man that led them to promotion from the Championship last season, finishing in second place, has been sacked. And Hannah, the club have put a statement out, as they do, on their website.
They have. They said the club can announce that they've parted company with head coach Scott Parker. Maxim Demin said, "I'd like to place on record my gratitude to Scott and his team for their efforts during their time with us. Our promotion back to the Premier League last season under his tenure will always be remembered as one of the most successful seasons in our history. However, in order for us to keep progressing as a team and the club as a whole, it is unconditional that we are aligned in our strategy to run the club sustainably. We must also show belief in and respect for one another. That is the approach that has brought the club so much success in recent history, and one that we will not veer from now. Our search for a new head coach will begin immediately." And they also say that Gary O'Neill will take interim charge of the team, will be assisted by Sean Cooper and Tommy Elphick. And of course, they do play Wolves in the Premier League tomorrow, as it's a full round of midweek fixtures. So there is no rest, and this is a developing situation. But Scott Parker gone from Bournemouth, and there's some interesting language in that statement when you look at it in terms of running the club sustainably and everyone being aligned in the strategy. Yeah, it's been a difficult start to the season for Bournemouth. It has to be said, they started in life back in the Premier League with a 2-0 victory over Aston Villa on the opening day of the season, but 3 very tough matches since then. An away defeat to the champions Manchester City. They're then beaten at home by Arsenal before that absolute rout at Anfield that saw them lose 9-0 on Saturday. But it was particularly significant what Scott Parker said after the match. Hannah mentioning there about the sustainability. Parker was very strong that he felt that his current squad was ill-equipped to compete at the top flight level. Let's have another listen to what Scott Parker said after that defeat to Liverpool at the weekend.
Real humbling experience, and one which was pretty shell-shocking, really, in the sense of the result. I'm probably not surprised too much, to be honest with you, in the sense of the levels that we're playing against here, and the quality is just far greater than what we have at this present moment in time.
Wasting no time, they decided to dial up a former Bournemouth manager from 1983 to 1992. They caught up with Harry Redknapp and got Harry's thoughts about the Scott Parker dismissal only 4 matches into the season.
The final question, Harry, just in terms of this transfer window in general, is there any club in the Premier League that have particularly impressed you with their business?
Well, Notts Forest have had a go, haven't they? I mean, every time you put the TV on their signing, I love the manager anyway, he's done a great job there, but every time you put the TV on, they're signing another 2 or 3 players. I mean, it's amazing. I don't know, they've signed about 3 right backs in the last week, I think, but yeah, so they've had a real go. I mean, obviously, Man United have had to buy. Tottenham performed well. Tottenham look a good squad this year. It's going to be a great division again. Man City just look fantastic. Ireland looks amazing. So, it's going to be Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea will be there, Tottenham, Arsenal have done great. So it's going to be interesting, and the bottom of the league is going to be a real dogfight this year. I couldn't pick the 3 teams that will go down. I think there's every 7 or 8 teams may be involved in it this year. So it's an exciting season as always, and I'm looking forward to it.
So let's go back a little bit and go through the week that kind of drew Scott Parker out of his job, and find out what happened in the past 7 days. So looking back, it was very, very busy back in the weekend. It was 7 matches on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, leading into your action today as we are discussing things on your Tuesday. Manchester United beat Southampton by the score of 1-0. Liverpool beat Bournemouth by the score of 9-0 is a minus 667, tying the highest output ever in a Premier League game. That was the first step in the Scott Parker dismissal. Manchester City over Crystal Palace by the score of 4-2 at a minus 500. Crystal Palace had a lead. Manchester City stormed back and got the Duke by the score of 4-2. Chelsea beat Leicester 2-1 at a minus 238. Brighton over Leeds 1-0 at the Amex at a minus 133. Brentford and Everton, a great back-and-forth game at Brentford at G-Tech, got the draw 1-1 at a plus 246. Arsenal and Fulham. Arsenal got the Duke 2-1 at a minus 256. Your Sunday games, 1-1 draw, Wolves and Newcastle, 1-0. West Ham knocks off Aston Villa. And in the Battle of the Ums, Tottenham beat Nottingham by the score of 2-0, jumped on them early in the first half and cruised right there at a minus 213. So let's get you ready for the very, very busy week and weekend. It's a double match week. So keep an eye on what's going on, and we will lay it all out for you. So Tuesday, 2:30, two starts, Fulham and Brighton. Brighton to plus 133. Your draw plus 231. Fulham at Craven Cottage is a plus 229. Crystal Palace and Brentford. Crystal Palace favored at Selhurst Park at a plus 114. Your draw is a plus 244. Brentford is a plus 258. Southampton at 245 hosting Chelsea. Chelsea a minus 152. Your draw is a plus 317. And Southampton is a plus 419. Leeds and Everton. Leeds a plus 112 at Ellen Road. And you've got the draw at plus 259. Everton is a plus 249 to get you into that particular window. So that is it for the month of August. And we'll get you into your standings here and lay things out for you and kind of preview the weekend as well, since we're going to be talking about the next 7 days. Up top, Arsenal cleared the table in their first 4 matches, 12 points, 4 wins, ahead of Manchester City, Tottenham, Brighton, all with 10 points. Goal difference for Manchester City is a plus 8, Tottenham at plus 6, Brighton at plus 4. Leeds right now after 4 matches, 7 points. And they are ahead of Chelsea at 7 points on goal difference, plus 3 to minus 1. 7th at 6 points is Newcastle, having drawn their last 3. Manchester United is 8th at 6 points with a goal difference of minus 3. They've won 2 in a row under Erik ten Hag. Liverpool finally wins a match. They are at 5 points ahead of Brentford and Fulham on goal difference of plus 8, plus 3, and dead even. Crystal Palace is 12th at 4 points ahead of Southampton and Nottingham Forest, minus 2, minus 3 in goals scored. Southampton has 5, Nottingham Forest has 2. Villa currently in 15th ahead of West Ham and Bournemouth. Goal difference is minus 4. And goals scored 3-1, Villa and West Ham. Bournemouth at a minus 14 in goal difference in 17th. Everton is in 18th. Wolves are in 19th. Both have drawn twice with 2 points. And your goals scored are Everton ahead of Wolves by the score of 3-2. Leicester, bottom of the table, with 1 point, having lost 3 in a row, and a goal difference of minus 4. That leads us into Wednesday. A lot of action at 2:30. Bournemouth and Wolves, first time out after Scott Parker. Arsenal and Aston Villa. Arsenal, once again, top of the table. Villa is struggling. Here's Steven Gerrard discussing the current situation at Aston Villa as they look toward the end of the window.
I think you get out of it by turning your results around. I've got total belief and confidence in these players. We showed it before that after a difficult patch we can come through it and we can put patches of games together in a different way and move up this table. In terms of the latter part of your question, I've been through tough times personally as a player and in my short managerial reign, and I've been faced with challenges and heat and pressure. I'll accept that. I'll take that on my shoulders, and listen, there's no one more determined than me to change this current situation, and we haven't started the season well enough. Results haven't been good enough, and I accept that. That's certainly on my shoulders.
With Arsenal and Manchester City to come, it's obviously difficult next couple of games. Is it a case of calling just for patience at the moment and calm at the moment until things get back on track?
I won't call for anything, and I certainly won't focus on the Manchester City game. We'll give our full attention and our full focus to Arsenal. Arsenal were in this situation themselves 12 months ago. They've started the season very well. Top manager, top players. And they've had the opportunity to build a really exciting team there. But we'll focus on trying to get the right results. They've started the 100% record, but for me that's a fantastic opportunity and a big, massive challenge for me and my players to go and try and ruin that. And that's what we'll try and do. And we won't look any further ahead, and I won't call for anything in terms of patience. I'll have full belief in myself and my staff and my players to fight and roll our sleeves up, accept where we are. And
Manchester City host Nottingham Forest 2:30 on Wednesday. One of the biggest questions right now is how is the Premier League going to handle Erling Haaland? Maybe they should have thought of that before Haaland showed up. They're apparently sharing intel with one another. Maybe you could have done that before he showed up. Manchester City and Nottingham Forest, bunch of matches in a very short period of time. So what is Pep Guardiola going to do with Erling Haaland and Julian Alvarez? Here's his answer.
You've now got 6 games in 18 days as well. You've spoken of the need over that period to maybe rest Erling Haaland. I just wonder what you're seeing from Alvarez, that when it comes to that decision to rest Haaland, it'll be made that little bit easier because of what you're seeing from Alvarez.
Yeah, definitely. When Erling maybe we think doesn't play, he's going to play Julian. Yeah, that's almost sure.
What are those qualities that you're seeing from Alvarez that, as I say?
All of us, we are really impressed for the guy, for the pace, for the sense of goal, for the work ethic, for many things.
West Ham and Spurs at 2:45, and also at 3 o'clock, Liverpool and Newcastle. So Jurgen Klopp, the manager of Liverpool, was asked about the remaining time left in the window, what's chasing, what he needs, and how they're going to approach it.
Final few days of the transfer window, I'm sure a 9-0 scoreline doesn't alter your thinking, but are you still in the market, particularly for a midfielder?
Ish. Somehow, yeah. But the closer we get to the last minute, the more unlikely it gets. That's how it is. Yeah. Well, what can I say? Nothing. Yeah, we are not out.
Well, you're not going to tell me names, but
I cannot. I couldn't if I wanted. So, and I don't want. But it's just it's difficult. It's really difficult because the right. For sure, there are a few players out there which would be the right ones, but they have different issues. Some of them are contracts, clubs they don't want to sell, all these kind of things. So that's how it is, and we cannot force it. And I can't wait until. We'll see. When is it over?
The clock is ticking. Yeah, it's Thursday at 11 o'clock. That's the end of it.
Thursday 11 o'clock. So there's still time. So, but when it's then over, and we signed or not signed, then I'm really happy about that, because then we can stop thinking about it in that moment, because it's just in that moment then we can just focus on the squad we have, on the team we have, be ready to face all the problems we'll have in that season, be ready to face them and sort them and go there through together. And with together I really mean our even our supporters who are pretty active on social media and stuff like this, that we then just can stop doing that, because it's we have a good football team and we have injuries, they come back and all these kind of things. If somebody expects us just to do always what others are doing or what some people wish to do, that's not possible. Never happened before, will not happen in the future. This club arrived here in this situation with the way we deal with situations. So, and that's when I say don't make the decisions about how much we spend. It's the truth, but I never did, and we're still here. So and won a couple of things, and now we have just from a specific moment on, we can then finally focus on the really important stuff. Yes, and bringing in the right players is important, but if we can't do that now, then we can't do it.
Thursday, one match, Leicester and Manchester United. Leicester, as we mentioned, bottom of the table. So, Brendan Rodgers, what are you, sir, going to do heading toward the end of the window?
So, I'm sure if anything is, then the club will let you know.
If and when it is confirmed, Brendan, how important is it to try and bring players in before Thursday to replace them and add to the squad?
Naturally, that would be the case, but we have to wait until there's any confirmation.
And looking at Thursday, obviously you played Manchester United that day. I know you'll say you're focusing on the game, but will will part of you be thinking what may happen or may not happen on deadline day?
Well, we've waited until this point and not a great deal has happened, but we're hopeful that if we that we can do one or two things that can improve the squad and help the squad. So, but that'll be taken care of outside of the football game.
And if players were coming in, if Fofana gets completed, have you been looking at replacements since the speculation has started over the last few weeks? And do you have kind of targets ready to go before the deadline?
Yeah, I've said it all along. It's obviously very, very late in the window. However, our recruitment team have done a fantastic job over many months in terms of preparing possibilities. And of course, as time goes on, that can change. But the guys behind the scenes have done some great work. And like I say, if we have to hopefully press the button on one or two, then hopefully we're able to do that.
That leads us to Saturday, and you have Everton and Liverpool as your early match at 7:30. You've also got Brentford hosting Leeds, Chelsea, and West Ham. These are your 10 o'clocks. Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, and Bournemouth, Spurs and Fulham, Wolves and Southampton. Villa then gets Manchester City. After all of that particular stuff that was going on at the beginning of the week, Brighton and Leicester is one of your matches on Sunday. Manchester United and Arsenal on a very, very busy midweek weekend activity. So Steve Cooper has had 18 transactions already for Nottingham Forest. Might be 20 by the time they get to Thursday. Steve Cooper on the current situation at Nottingham Forest.
Well, we've got a player, even though he's only relatively young, he's still got a lot of big game experience under his belt, both on the international and club stage. I think that's really important. I think it's been really clear coming into this league that these Premier League games are a big stage, and there's no doubt that we need players in the team and in the squad that have experience of being on the big stage, and he has that. And obviously, that is because he's a talented player. He's very good with and without the ball. He really fits the profile to how we want to play and what we need from that position. Like I said, in both areas of the game, and quite surprised of his availability. But then at the same time, it was great once we knew about it that we were able to get a deal done as we have. And I think having spoken to the boy and he was really excited and hungry to come here as well, and that's always really important to me, because obviously coming from a Champions League club and a big club in Spain, for him to know about the history of the club and to want to come here and have an impact is something that I like to hear. So we're delighted Renan's here, and we're looking forward to working with him and getting him settled in as quick as possible, and I know he's feeling exactly the same.
Serge Aurier, Willy Bolly, two that are said to be close. What can you tell us?
There's loads of names, and there's been tens of dozens of names that we've been linked with over the last few weeks and months. So, and as I've said to you before, some of it, there may be a bit of truth in it, some of it couldn't be any further away from the truth. So we'll stick to the process of talking about players as and when they're signed.
But are you expecting more additions this week before the deadline, and could you be working right up to that deadline?
We could be, yeah. We could be, and we could bring some more players in. We could see more players going out, and we might not bring any players in. So anything can happen, really. If I'm being really honest, although we had constantly having good communication with the board, ownership, as soon as you get this week, with 3 games, it's taken up enough of our time, really, and with it being a day before a game today, that's really what I'm focused on. And if there's something that has happened that we're planning or would like to do, then I'm sure the guys will let me know.
So if you have a fantasy team and you have players that you can look at both matchups, and that way you can get all the points that are particularly necessary. But remember, you've got to fix it by early Tuesday afternoon because of what is going on in the Premier League. Double match week, folks, and there's a lot of stuff going on. That's your news. That's your standings. That's your coaches. That's your quotes. That's your schedule. And a quick reminder, Andres Cantor, Danny Higginbottom, they are going to be calling the Southampton and Wolves match. That is going to be a very cool moment for those of us who appreciate Andres Cantor is one of the great voices of the sport. He's going to be a part of the action this weekend as a part of the NBC family of networks, along with Danny Higginbotham. Thank you, Jonathan Tannewald, for that piece of news before we go. So that's your news. That's getting you ready for everything going on here at Prem and Proper. And we will do it again this time next week. We'll have a double match week to talk about. For everybody here at SDH, I'm just John. Play safe, everybody. Enjoy your games in the Premier League and Prem and Proper. Enjoy the early wake-up calls.